welcome back to another video. I'm just going to jump on for a quick intro. You've kind of already seen what we've been doing with our day, but if you are new here, welcome in. For the first time, my name is Jess. I'm a holistic health coach and life coach. I'm a homeschooling mom of two and a homemaker. I make these videos just to share a little bit about our lives and what we're up to every day, and today is a homeschool day. It's a Monday, so I'm going to share a little bit of what I would say regular homeschool day looks like, but every day looks completely different for us. We don't really follow a set schedule, or I don't know, we really don't have a set idea of what homeschool should look like every day, so it genuinely looks different every single day. But I'm just going to share what we're doing on this day as we're starting a new week. We are starting a couple new studies and a little bit of new curriculum. We have finished our review for the year. We have been back to school for probably about a month, so we have finished the review. We're jumping fully into 4th grade, and then I have a little Indy who is 3, so she's just kind of doing whatever she feels like. I'm trying to figure out how to integrate a toddler into homeschooling, and she's just kind of more or less playing throughout the day. But I'm going to share what we do on a typical homeschool day. Thank you for joining us, and I hope you enjoy this video. I actually have a few minutes, a few rare quiet minutes to include a voiceover right here. So I wanted to share with you guys an upcoming project. Since this video is kind of all about our homeschool day, that big white door to the right that you see in frame, the camera's actually fixing to move, but you'll still have a good view of it. That door leads out onto our back porch, and Cody is in the process of doing a little home remodel, and he is going to be turning that into a schoolroom. So if you notice where the camera is sitting now, it is actually sitting in our kitchen looking into our living room, and our downstairs is very tiny. Our whole house is very tiny. I've talked about that a couple of times on this channel. We have less than 1,000 square feet for the 4 of us, so you see one end of the house there, and the other end of the house is directly behind the camera where it's sitting in the kitchen. We don't have a dining room or kitchen table, so when we do school during the day, we actually just have to sit on the couch, kind of where I'm standing right there. We sit on the corner of the couch, which you'll see in a little bit. But we don't have a table to really do school on. We have a desk where Sky works independently. I have a standing/sitting desk where she can go do her independent work, do crafts, and do different things like that. And it's great because she can actually raise it up where Indy can't get to it. So that's very nice for those little toddler hands to be away from crafts that she's working on. But Cody is going to be taking that back porch and turning it fully into a schoolroom/library/office/craft room for us, and I'm so very excited for this project to get going. Hopefully by mid next month, I think is what we're kind of shooting for. So one of the walls is going to be completely floor to ceiling shelving units to store all of our crafts and books and school supplies, because if you notice in just a minute when I go to get out our school supplies for the day, we just have like a Rubbermaid container that it's all in right now, and we have to constantly dig through it to find what we're going to be working on that day. And it works, it's fine, but I would like for it to be a little bit better, and I would really like for us to have a space where I can teach the girls from a standing position while they're sitting at a table and they have a workspace to work on. So that is something very exciting coming up. We will have that homeschool room built, and we will have that space. I will film it all so that you guys can see our organization and decoration of it. I'm so excited for the planning of that space because I have been homeschooling now. Sky is 10, and we've really never had a homeschool room. So in the 5 years that we've done school since kindergarten, we have never really had a homeschooling space or a room dedicated to that. It's always been just like in the corner of the house, or when we traveled full time and we lived in the camper, it was like a corner of the camper was dedicated. So to actually have a room is something very exciting for me. And like I said, I will film it all and share it with you guys, but I just wanted to jump on while I had the opportunity. We have this amazing false fall in Alabama right now, and the weather is beautiful, so the girls are running around outside, so I had an opportunity to share that news with you guys. You'll have to ignore the clean dishes. The dishwasher washes them great, but for some reason it does not dry them at all. So I have to pull them from the dishwasher and set them up on the counter so they can dry. But one of the things that we always start our day with, let's see, me and Sky, we wake up at 5:30 and we work out. We immediately get outside, we watch sunrise as we go for a walk, we come in, we lift weights, so usually that takes about an hour. Indy is usually already awake by 5:30. Her and Cody have already gotten up and gotten their morning going. She is a very early riser, so she's usually awake, and sometimes she's already ate breakfast and is ready to get, she's already like fully going for her day. So me and Sky do our workout. We come back. We hang out with Cody before he leaves for work. We make breakfast. Cody's usually got Indy some breakfast made, but I'll get breakfast made for everybody else, and she has her second breakfast at that point. Cody gets ready for the day. He heads out to work, and then when he leaves, we start getting ready for the day, and that looks different every day. Some days we get fully ready, like today. Other days it's just brush teeth, brush hair, change clothes. The goal is not to stay in the clothes that you slept in. It is to just freshen up a little bit. And for me personally, like I said, this is just a personal experience. It has... Mommy? I hear little kids coming downstairs. I'm over here. But getting ready every day makes a huge difference for me personally, just in my mental health. We'll see. And that's great. Thank you. And it just helps me feel put together and ready for the day. We are currently potty training. Hello. And so that looks very different. Sometimes we have multiple outfit changes throughout the day, but we get ready, like I said, even if that's just getting dressed, brushing teeth, and brushing hair, and then we start morning chores. Everybody has chores and tasks that they do, myself included, to get the day started, and then we jump into school. Usually by, I would say, between 8:30 and 9 o'clock we get school started. Like I said, that's very fluid. Every day is different, but that's just kind of like a rough outline. I have shared our homeschooling rhythm, like our daily rhythm that we loosely follow, in another video, and I really do like to have just a basic outline of what we kind of need to be doing at what time, so that helps our days just flow a little bit better. But we are now almost 8 o'clock. We're finishing up morning chores, and we're gonna get ready to start school. couple of the things that we're doing right now. This is just right now with Sky transitioning into 4th grade, and then Indy, like I said, she's 3. We're doing a state study, and I found these really fun puzzle books, and it's fun with the 50 states. So we're doing 2 states a day. We're almost through this already, which is crazy to believe, but we're doing our state study, and it's really neat because each day just has little puzzles and little games, little quizzes, coloring pages for the states. So we're learning the states and capitals and just some fun facts about the states as far as like state flower, things like that. We are fixing to start a new science study, which is going to be all on marine biology. So I went to the local thrift store and I bought several books on the ocean and marine biology. Our thrift store usually has these books anywhere from 50 cents down to 10 cents. So I bought several books on the ocean and sharks and dolphins, all of that kind of stuff. We are in a book club, so we're currently reading Winnie the Pooh. We do read aloud every week with Winnie the Pooh. We are also doing a different reading comprehension. So I have this large book for reading comprehension. It discusses cause and effect, which I also have another workbook that talks about fact and opinion, cause and effect. So we're talking about that. What is fact? What is an opinion? Cause and effect, characterization, identifying main ideas, understanding point of view, sequencing, vocabulary, and things like that through reading comprehension. So we're doing that. Like I said, I have all of our pages for our big ocean study. We're excited to start that next week. And then I actually got this today at our homeschool co-op, our little like homeschool group meetup. They had some reading comprehension books, the little, I think it's called highlights books. I'm not exactly sure, but reading comprehension for 3rd and 4th grade. I got those. We're going to look at those and see what they're about. So that's going to be something new and fun. As far as Bible, we are doing a Bible study currently on my phone. It talks just about big miracle stories in the Bible. We read scripture together and then do the devotional, and there's a video. The girls really like to watch that. Indy's currently destroying a glue stick, so we're gonna have to tackle that in a minute. But doing that as far as Bible, like I've showed before, I have these little cards that keep up with our subjects and what pages, what we're studying, and things like that. We are doing multiplication. Sky has her multiplication cards in her hand, so I'm not going to make her show those, but she's got her multiplication cards, and then we have we have multiplication worksheets, and that's kind of all we're doing right now. We're doing for Bible right now just little devotions, and we're going to start in the next, let's see, 2 weeks, I believe. We're going to be adding in, once we kind of chill out on the state study, we're going to go into deep discussions on people in the Bible. So it'll be a little bit of history, a little bit of Bible study. The first 2 people that we're going to study is Ruth and Naomi. So I've got a lot of content for us to dive into with Ruth and Naomi. For our Bible/history, we'll be done with the state study by then, so we'll head into that, and then we will be finishing up our marine biology study, and we're going to start studying the human body. So that'll take up a couple months, probably on into 2026, studying the human body, and we will continue with, I say, regular math, science, history, all of that kind of stuff. But unless I can recover that video of us doing school together this morning, that is it for today. Sky's finishing up her multiplication chart. Indy is making a craft, and we're going to go outside and play in a little bit. I've got supper cooking. This is, like I said, not a typical day, even though it was a typical day, because we ended up going to the park and playing with a bunch of homeschool friends, which is always an awesome thing just to get it out of the house. I get to socialize, the kids get to socialize and play, but thank you for joining us on a Homeschool Monday, and we'll catch you in the next video.